So we will try to explain the geometric interpretation of the dot product using the angles between the t vectors. Okay? So let's say we're given t vectors in 3D, for example. Say one vector, u, and another vector, v. Okay? So they are the position vectors. It means that they are starting from the origin. Okay? And let's assume we're given an angle between these t vectors, alpha as well. Okay? Now I would like to find this alpha if we're given the t vectors, or if we're given the alpha, how to find one of the vectors. Okay? So in order to do this, we are going to subtract the vectors. Okay? So if you write down this vector here. So do you remember how we subtracted the vectors geometrically yesterday? So if I would like to subtract the two vectors, we need to start both of the vectors from the same point, right? And the connection of the ending points is going to be subtraction of the vector, right? Depending on what we're subtracting, it is going to have the different directions, right? For example, if we're writing this as the u minus v, what kind of direction it has? From minus v to the u, right? So the third vector, when you write the direction of the subtraction of the two vectors, is always going from the negative vector to the positive vector, okay? So do you remember something which is called the Cosines Theorem, right? So do you remember this? So if you have some triangle, right? So with the sides A, B, and C, where this angle is alpha, the Cosine Theorem tells me that the square of the side of the C, right, is equal square of the A plus square of the B minus 2AB multiplied to the cosine of alpha, right? So one of the particular cases of this Cosine Theorem is the Pythagorean theorem, right? Where alpha is equal to the pi over t, cosine of alpha becomes 0. So that is why c squared becomes equal to the a squared plus b squared, okay? So we are going to use this theorem here, okay? So how we can write down the Cosine theorem for our vectors, u and v, in the subtraction? So actually, I cannot just write u in a square, right? Because it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? So I cannot square the vectors. We don't have such operations. So we can square the size of the vector, right? So what is going to be the size, the length of this side of the triangle? It's the length of the vector u, right? The length of the vector u, do you understand this? In the square plus the length of this vector v in the square, right? Minus 2 the length of the u, the length of the v multiplied to the cosine of alpha is equal to what? The length of the third side, which is u minus v, norm in the square. Do you understand this? So we just wrote down the Cosine theorem for the vectors, but we cannot just square the vectors. We need to write their lengths, right? So now, at the same point, we know that u minus v norm in the square, it means that, do you remember? So it was the first property of the vectors. So the norm of the vector in the square means the multiplication of the vector to itself using the dot product, right? So this is going to be equal to the u minus v dot u minus v, right? And using all other properties of the dot product, we're going to open up the brackets, okay? So let's open the brackets. This is going to be equal to the u dot u, right? Minus u dot v minus v dot u, right? Plus v dot v. We're going to simplify this. So u dot u means the norm of the u in the square, right? So this vector is equal to this one. Do you remember this property? Property number 4, I guess, in the properties of the dot product, right? You can multiply the vectors as a dot product in any order, right? So that is why they are equal. So you can write as the u multiplied, t multiplied to the u multiplied to the v, plus the norm of the v vector in the square, right? So from one side, u minus v norm in the square is equal to this inequality, right? From another point of view, u minus v in the square, u minus v in the norm in the square is equal to this inequality, right? So it means that they are equal. So let us equalize them, and let's see what we can get. So the norm of the u in the square plus norm of the v in the square minus t norm of the u, norm of the v, cosine of alpha is equal to the norm of the u in the square minus 2u dot v plus norm of the v in the square, right? Okay, so can we cancel something here? So actually, we can cancel u norm in the square and u norm in the square. We can also cancel v norm in the square and v norm in the square, right? So what is left is 2 norm of the u, norm of the v, cosine of alpha is equal to the 2 u dot v. And from here, we can find the cosine of alpha between the t vectors is equal to the dot product of the vectors divided to the multiplication of their lengths. Okay? So this is one of the important implications of the dot product geometrically when you talk about the vectors geometrically. So it allows us to construct the vectors just knowing some angles as well. Or if you're given the vectors, we can find the angles between the vectors using this equation as well. Okay? So let's do an example. So let's say we're given a vector u with the components t, t minus 1, and vector v have the components 5, minus 3, and 2. So we need to find the angles between these two vectors. Okay? In order to do this, we're going to use this formula. So u dot v, first of all, it's a numerator of our formula, is equal to t minus 1 multiplied to the 5 minus 3 and 2. It's going to be equal to the 10 minus 6 plus 2, right? Which is going to be equal to what? 6. Minus 2, sorry. It's going to be equal to 8, right? So the norm of the vector u is going to be equal to the square root of 2 in the square, which is 4, plus 2 in the square, which is 4, plus 1, which is going to be equal to the square root of 9. Where? Okay. 10 minus 6 minus 2 is 2. Okay. So 4 plus 1 is equal to the 3. And the norm of the vector u, v, sorry. So this is v, u. The norm of the vector v is equal to the square root of 25 plus 9 plus 4 is going to be equal to 38. Right? So the cosine of angle between these t vectors is going to be equal to the t divided to the 3 multiplied to the square root of 38. Or angle is going to be equal to the arc cosine divided to of the t divided to the 3 square root of 38. We can find this angle using the calculators, for example, and this is going to be equal roughly to the 84 degrees. So one more important thing using this formula we can obtain is, so cosine of the angle between the t vectors is equal to the u dot v divided to the length of the u and length of the v. Okay? So if the vectors have the lengths, do not have the lengths to be equal to the 0. Okay? So if we're given a t vectors where the norm of the u is not equal to the 0 and norm of the v is not equal to the 0, so what is the case when cosine of 0 becomes equal to the 0? When the cosine of alpha is equal to the 0? Okay, so let's say the angle between the t vectors is equal to the pi over 2, or 90 degrees, right? So if you substitute this to here, what you get? Cosine of pi over 2 is equal to 0 is equal to the u dot v divided to the length of the u, length of the v, right? So actually, u dot v divided to some constant is equal to the 0. So when this equality becomes 0? When u dot v is equal to the 0, right? So if the angle between the t vectors is pi over 2 or 90 degrees, or if the t vectors are perpendicular, then their scalar product is equal to the 0. It works to the both directions, okay? Then u dot v is equal to the 0. When we say that it works in the both direction, it means that if the angle is equal to the 90 degrees, then multiplication is equal to the 0. If the multiplication of the t vectors as a dot product is equal to the 0, then the angle is 90 degrees. Okay? So could you please write this down? So we call the vectors as perpendicular if the angle between them is pi over t or 90 degrees. For the c vectors, for the perpendicular vectors, u and v, u dot v is equal to the 0. Okay, so let's check it quickly. For example, do you know some of the easy perpendicular vectors? So we talked about them yesterday, right? For example, I, j, k vectors, they're unit vectors, and they are perpendicular at the same time, right? So do you remember? So this is going to be I vector with the components 1, 0, 0. And this is, for example, the j vector with the components 0, 1, and 0. Okay? So they are perpendicular. So it is more clear when you write the I and j and the td. Okay? So this is x and this is y. So I vector is going to be this vector with the components 1 and 0. And j vector is this vector with the components 0 and 1. Okay? If you multiply the I to the j as a scalar product, I multiplied to the j, what you get is 1, 0, multiplied to the 0 and 1, right? Multiplication of the first two components is equal to the 0. Multiplication of the second two components is equal to the 0, and this is equal to the 0. Okay? So two vectors are perpendicular, so that is why their scalar product is 0 as well.